Hi everybody, this is Diane. I am working on some ephemera for a couple of cookbook junk journals, and I've decided to go with these two covers for the first two, and then we'll see what happens after that. Whether I go into doing more right away or save them for later. But this is the Lily Wallace New American Cookbook in green with the gold embossed title and image on it. I don't know if that's something I can clean off, but it would be covered by my fabric anyway. Look at that pretty end paper. And then this one is the Culinary Arts Institute Encyclopedic Cookbook. I just love this pink spine, so I'm going to keep the spine on it. This one, yeah, I'll keep the spine on that one too. They're both wide enough. And let's see. Oh, the end paper is just plain. These are scraps from, and pages from Saucy, from Authentique. These were left over from previous journals that I made. So I've got 2 sheets plus this one. It's really nice there, so I would just have to cover up the branding on that. I've got 3 sheets then, and then this is, oh, there's another one. Oh, I got lots. And this is from Stampin' Up. But this isn't really about cooking. I might save this page for a housekeeping or domestic arts type of journal. And I have a whole nother set of the Saucy that's not even opened yet. Thank you, Jeannie, for that. I'll be using a journal kit digital journal kit called June's Kitchen, and that kit is no longer available. I bought it a long time ago, and that shop has now closed. And I will be using some elements from a kit called, I forgot the name of the kit, but it is from KB and Friends, so I will link that below. That's where all these fun little housewife images come from, in 2 sizes, and some appliances and some fun journal cards, some other things. These I think are from June's Kitchen. Maybe not. They might be from KB and Friends too. There's recipe cards, but I think they're from June's Kitchen. I get them mixed up. But anyway, I have a couple digital kits that I'll be working with. So I've started working on a little bit of ephemera. I haven't even cut pages, which is usually the first thing I do, is select and cut some pages. But I've got so much stuff, as you saw in the introductory video for this series of journals, that I feel overwhelmed. So I thought, well, I'll just start making some ephemera with it, and whatever I use in these journals I use, and if I don't use it I can save it for another set of cookbook journals. So that's what I'm going to do, is continue working on some ephemera. Now these are just images from vintage magazines, and I have just used a glue stick to glue them down to scrapbook paper, just a white scrapbook paper. So they can be, a lot of these are going to be tuck spots or pockets. They could be journaling cards. They could be, yeah, just tuck spots, pockets, and journaling cards. So I just need to fussy cut them, which I'll probably do while I watch TV tonight. This one, instead of gluing it on white cardstock, I glued it on this so I could cut it out in a rectangle shape and make it into a pocket or something. I'm prepping this. I was trying to figure this one out. So this is a page from Graphic 45. I want to at least use a page that this might look good on, just to demonstrate what I want to do with it. Let's try this. So let's say I'm going to put it on this page. I added these little tabs. This is a piece of scrapbook paper, and this is a little recipe card that I cut out of a recipe book that you were supposed to write your own recipes in. And then I made these little tabs from pink polka dot paper, They're half an inch, no, 3/4 of an inch wide, and I think it's 1 7/8 inches long, and then I just kind of rounded the corners and made these tabs. Folded them in half, and I glued half of it to the front of this card. Then I will put glue on these pieces and glue it down to the page. When you flip it open, you won't get to see the pink polka dot part, so I'll have to do something to cover the back of the card and of these strips. So this will be a card that you flip over, and you can write on the back of the card, you can write on the front of the card, but underneath it I want to have these little things that came out of one of my cookbooks, my vintage housekeeping books that I made a journal out of previously. And these are just little these are kitchen tips. So when chopping slaw, how to grate coconuts with vinegar from sweet pickles. So I just glued them onto that pink polka dot paper. So I think what I will do actually is cut another piece of paper and glue it down, and that would cover up those tabs. And then, so let's say I'm going to do this. That's the same paper I used for that, but I might use a different paper. I'll just put that there for now, and then I would glue these down here just for something fun to read. And then it would look like this. You could see them peeking out. So I don't know, I just wanted to try something different. So I'm not going to finish this until I have my pages ready and I know what page I want to put that on. So that's just something I was fooling around with. I'm going to paper clip these together. This is something that I think we can finish in this video. I just need some scrap paper. So with this, I took a piece of that blue gingham cardstock and cut it into a 6 by, I think it's 4, 6 by 3.5 inch card. And then I took a piece of scrapbook paper, this looks like burlap, and cut it. I glued it to a scrap of cardstock because that's a blurry stamp, so I don't want it. So I needed to stiffen it up. This is cardstock and this was a thin paper, but I want to make this into a pocket. So I glued it to cardstock and I inked around it and used a 2-inch punch to punch a big thumb hole there. I'm going to collage on this pocket with this recipe. It's not the whole recipe, I trimmed it to fit the pocket. And then this little bottle of French's vanilla. And then I have some things I can tuck inside. I also wanted to put a brad in the top corners to decorate, so I put that in there just so I wouldn't forget to do that. There, that makes a fun little pocket. I did use a recipe that does have vanilla in it, although I covered up that part that says how much vanilla you need. This is a kind of a narrow pocket, but I have a flash card that I could tuck in there, and I think this will fit, just barely. This is an old card I've had for a long time, and it came in a set of these cards from Seven Gypsies. And then this is something I have a die for, and I don't know what I'll do to it, but it's a nice skinny tag, but it has this pretty top on it. So I'm going to try to find something to embellish it with. I just don't know what yet. But I'm tucking it in there for now so I don't forget that it goes in there. So there's that. And I started on another one. So I'm just going to round my corners. And this one has these blue checked brads. I don't want them so close to the corner. I put it a little bit close to the corner the first time. To measure it. About a ½ inch in. I can use the plaid to figure out how far down to go. Looks like it's a little low. I like the square plaid brads, but I don't like that that one is that much lower than the other one. And that one will probably be too high. Oh, that's pretty good. And I will glue it so won't have any problem with the hole ripping into the other hole. That looks cute. I like those brads. This is my scrapbook paper. I'm going to glue it to the cardstock before I punch the hole. It stuck to the cardstock and pulled some of the color off it, but I'm gonna round the corner, so maybe that'll take care of that. We'll see. Just going to round the two bottom corners that cut off that problem spot. Just doesn't want to do it. I wonder if it's because the glue is still wet. Well, while I wait for the glue to finish drying, I can ink the edge. we can pretend this burlap is what the potatoes came in. I'm going to have to ink again up here when I punched there, but we're going to use my 2-inch punch, and pretty much fits right in there, so the edges go right to the edge of the punch, so I can center it quite easily that way. Now I just need to decorate that pocket, and I found this from a little recipe book. A pig and some chickens doing some cooking. Now I thought, oh, I was going to glue that on before I punched it, because I'm going to have to punch that too. So I'm going to draw where that punch needs to be, and then I think I will hope it works. I'm gonna, right there is where the line is. I'm gonna move it down a little bit to make the hole bigger, so that there will be a little space there for the burlap to show. Yeah, that works nicely. So that worked better than gluing it on before I punched. And I just missed the pig's back. I didn't do as much in here as I had planned on doing today, because my daughter let me know she was going to be going up to Elmira to the Wegmans grocery store that I never get to go to because I don't drive in Elmira. I drive through it to get on the highway to get to my craft stores and Sam's Club and stuff, but I don't like to drive around in Elmira itself because there's a lot of one-way streets, and I don't know, I'm not good at driving around places I don't know. So anyway, I think I like Wegmans grocery store, and I've only been there a few times. So anyway, I told her I'd like to go with her. So the boys and my daughter and I went up to Wegmans. I was going to get some fruit and roasting chicken because for some reason none of the stores sell roasting chickens in the summertime, probably because nobody wants to roast a chicken in the summer. But I love chicken and biscuits, and maybe I want chicken and biscuits for my birthday in August. But Wegmans carries roasting chickens all the time. So I was going to get some fruit and a chicken. So I did. I got some fruit. I got watermelon and raspberries and blackberries, and I got a chicken, and then I got a whole bunch of other stuff too. Isn't that the way? So anyway, that was 2 hours out of my morning. Well, we left at 12:30, so it was actually afternoon. So this is not going to fit in there. I think I may have cut this piece a little bit smaller than that one. Or I may have turned it sideways because I think there was a slight difference. But anyway, I can use a flashcard. That's beef, not pork, right? We don't want to upset her. I don't think that's pork. Let's see, it just says meat. Yeah. Don't want to upset the pig. And another one of these tags. And maybe I'll find something else to tuck in there, but so this will just get glued down to a page in one of these books. So I think they're fun. I like them. All right, now I had the idea to take some of these recipes that came from old magazines and newspapers and little booklets and whatnot and do a little collage on cardstock and then cut it up and make pockets and tags with it. So I have my pieces all laid out here. If I can just remember how they're going to go. We'll figure it out. And my large Elmer's Craft Bond extra strength glue stick ran out and I don't have a spare, so I have to use my small size one. I'm just going to coat the cardstock with the glue stick. Not the whole thing. I'll just do part of it. Can't see where the top of it is because I've got it laying on white paper. So I'm putting this part off. That'll get cut off. Obviously there's no glue on top of those pieces, so I'll have to add some glue to the back of this piece that will be overlapping them. I just thought it would be easier to glue the whole cardstock than each individual piece. I'm not sure if I'm doing this the way I had it laid out. Not that it matters, except that I want to make sure that everything that I have covers everything. But if it doesn't, I can go find another piece. I'm going to use, this is a little bit heavier, so instead of glue stick, I'm going to use this. This first. Oh. I wanted there to be a variety of colors of paper, so there would be some interest. I already did one sheet of this last night, and then after the glue dried, I stitched around all the seams, kind of like a crazy quilt. I did some different stitches on my sewing machine and then cut it up. So once I'm all done with this, we're going to move on to those pieces that were already sewn and cut to do the decorating. I love that pink piece, of course, but I think I did it differently, laid it out differently because it's not all being covered. I grabbed this handwritten piece It almost covers it. I think on the other piece I used a little strip of scrapbook paper to fill in one edge, so I might have to do something like that here. You could overlap more than I'm doing. You could turn things sideways. You don't have to do it all straight up and down like I'm doing. I just need one little piece right there. Okay, now I need something to put there. Duncan Hines barbecue sauce, that's a pretty good fit. I don't think Duncan Hines makes barbecue sauce anymore. Okay, so that's a fun looking page, isn't it? So this is going to become some tags and pockets and tuck spots. I'll just turn it over when it's dry and trim off the little overhanging pieces, and then I can stitch and cut the pieces out. So this is what I ended up with from the other sheet that I did. And I have some little embellishments all ready to go. I was thinking of taking my vintage magazine images in color and just kind of scattering them before I cut it, but I really want to showcase those and not just have them cut in half and stuff. So I decided to embellish after I cut. So this is a lady with a nice green salad. I glued her to a piece of really pale yellow scrapbook paper. so she would stand out a little bit. She just kind of blended into the page. And you can see I did some stitching here. And I'm just gonna glue her on there. I wonder if I want something else on that. Hang on. I'm gonna look at my little box of arrows. This is arrows and brackets. I think I need to cut some more. I just think they make a nice accent. I like to use them like I like to use numbers. A little flower snuck in there. Might as well use it. Oh, I left my cap off too long. I like the striped side, but it blends in too much. It's the same colors as my image. So that'll be a fun little pocket. This one has this little image. I had the page right here. I was going to show it to you. I think I buried it. It's from a magazine. Here it is. If I can pull it out without tearing it. Got buried under a bunch of stuff. So it was this really fun magazine page advertising a Tappan stove. And all these little images around there. And I've taken 2 of them so far for this little project. I also took some mint cardstock and cut them into shapes with my Big Shot. So I chose a few of those images to add to these. This had a tabbed card under it. I don't know where that went, but I wanted the tab, so I cut that out, and so this is just going to be glued on as a tuck spot with that little tab shape cut out there. So I just inked around the edge of that little scalloped oval. You can see the stitching, just different stitches that I've used. And I'm just going to glue that there and put her there. We'll have a fun little pocket. She is whipping up some batter with a big smile on her face. Here's one that I cut into a tag shape, and I inked around that. There's a lady standing in front of a refrigerator. So the mint helps the images stand out from the background. Let me see if I want to add another arrow to this, or a bracket or something. That arrow looks cute. There's the little piece of scrapbook paper I had to add to finish filling in that cardstock. It was a little crooked. The reason my daughter wanted to go to Wegmans is because they have a large gluten-free section, and my grandson Adam is trying gluten-free to see if it makes him feel better. He's not gluten intolerant, but he has ADD and had heard that eating gluten-free might clear up some brain fog that he gets with his ADD. So he's been doing gluten-free for over 2 weeks now. He said he feels like he's doing better, so we're going to continue with the gluten-free for now. So we went there to look for gluten-free options, and I asked him what he wanted me to keep in my pantry since he's here often. We were looking at the gluten-free mixes, and he chose a brownie mix. So I have a gluten-free brownie mix in my cupboard for when Adam is here and wants brownies. There's another tag and another mint piece that got cut out, and another lady with her refrigerator. So it's from the same ad as that. This was a bigger shape. I think I had it like this. Maybe I put her on it completely. This is called a bookshelf door. Puts everything where you can reach it without stretching. Stores food like books on a shelf. That's if all of your packages come in boxes. Remember when frozen vegetables were boxed? They're not boxed anymore. Well, I guess some are. And I have one more. So I'm not sure what happened to the piece that has the tab. It's here in this mess somewhere. So I think I ended up with 4 pockets and 2 tags from that one paper. This is a sticker from the Saucy collection from Authentique, and I just glued it onto one of those mint shapes. And I have this little scrap of paper, scrapbook paper, and another of the little cutout ladies. She's got a finished cake with candles on it, so I chose her to go with the Let's Eat. Oh. And the colors are perfect with that. Okay. So we have one pocket and another pocket and another pocket, and I'll have to find the other one, and two tags. And I have this that I can make more with. So I think right now I'm going to turn the camera off, and then I'm going to kind of clear up my mess and cut some pages and get pages ready so I kind of know what I'm doing more. But at least I got started on some ephemera. I have some really great pieces that I'm going to use to make ephemera. I have this lady, well, she's with a washing machine, so I'm going to save her for a homemaking journal too, but this one has a spoon in her hand, so I'm going to put her on a tag or something. So, all right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope that you found some inspiration today, and I hope you'll come back to see what else we're going to be doing in the cookbook journals. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.